Hi, Professor. This is Xiaojia Emma speaking. This task is mainly to answer three questions. And after reading the book of the philosophical foundations of education, I obtained lots of knowledge. I just reply all the questions, mainly from the understanding from the book or the book. Okay, the first one. The understanding of the history, basic idea, proposal, pros and cons of idealism toward educational theory and practice. Okay, firstly, let's look at the definition of idealism. Idealism is a philosophical approach that emphasizes the importance of the ideas and the mind in shaping reality, which means that understanding world. In the context of the education, idealism proposes that education should focus on the development of the individual's mind and the character, rather than simply imparting knowledge and skills. Actually, this approach has a long and rich history, dating back to ancient Greece and continuing to influence educational theory and practice to this day. Here I mainly list the three stages of idealism, and we can see that the very early time begins to from the ancient Greek philosophers such as Plato and Aristotle, who emphasized the importance of the ideas and the mind in understanding of the world. And move on to the next stage is medieval period. Idealism was further developed by philosophers such as Augustine and Aquinas, who saw the mind as a key to understanding God and the universe. And the third stage comes to the modern era. Idealism was championed by philosophers such as Descartes, Kant, and Hegel, who emphasized the importance of reason and mind in understanding reality. The basic idea of idealism education is that the development of the individual's mind and the character is the primary goal of education. This means that education should focus on the cultivation of intellectual and moral virtues, such as some elements as following, like critical thinking, creativity, empathy, and social responsibility. Additionally, idealism also emphasizes the importance of the teacher-student relationship, as a teacher is seen as a mentor and guide who helps the student develop their mind and character. Idealism proposes that education should be centered around the study of great ideas and works of literature, philosophy, and art. This means that the curriculum should focus on the classical Western civilization, as their works embody the highest ideas of human thought and creativity. And what's more, idealism also proposes that education should be a holistic, integrating the intellectual, moral, and the spiritual dimensions of the individual. Next one moves on to the some advantage and the disadvantage of idealism. First one is the pros, so advantages. One of the main advantages of idealism in education is that it emphasizes the importance of the individual's mind and the character, which can lead to the development of the well-rounded and responsible citizens. What's more, idealism also promotes critical thinking and creativity, which are essential skills in today's fast-paced and complex world. Finally, idealism emphasizes the importance of the teacher-student relationship, which can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful educational experience. Okay, next one move for some disadvantage. First cons is high cognitive cognitive level of education that idealists promote. And the second cause is their concern for safeguarding and promoting cultural learning. The third cause is their great concern for morality and character development. The fourth cause is their view of the teacher as a revered person central to the educational process. The next cause is the stress on the importance of self-realization and the stress on the human and personal side of life. And next one, disadvantage is the comprehensive, systematic, and holistic approach. And actually, those kind of things may not be relevant or accessible to all students, and also may not be immediately applicable to real-world problems and challenges, and may not take into account the practical constraints and the realities of modern education. Okay, next one is question 2. Students develop an idealist perspective on education theory and practice. And I mainly just develop an idealist perspective on education theory and practice from 4 aspects. Idealism is a philosophical perspective that emphasizes the importance of ideas, thoughts, and consciousness in shaping the world. In the context of education, idealism suggests that education should focus on the development of the mind and the cultivation of intellectual and moral virtues. From this perspective, education is not merely a means to an end, but rather an end in itself. So, firstly, should focus on the realization from the realization perspective. According to idealism, the ultimate goal of education is to help individuals realize their full potential as rational and moral beings. This involves cultivating the mind through the study of subjects such as mathematics, science, literature, and philosophy. By engaging with these subjects, students develop the ability to think critically, reason logically, and appreciate the beauty and complexity of the world. And next one comes to the moral perspective. Idealism also emphasizes the importance of the moral education. According to this perspective, education should not only develop the intellect, but also cultivate virtues such as honesty, integrity, and compassion. Through moral education, students learn to become responsible and ethical members of society. Okay, next one is teacher-student relationship. According to this perspective, teachers are not merely instructors, but also mentors and role models. They guide students in their intellectual and moral development and inspire them to reach their full potential. And idealism also emphasizes the importance of the rigorous and the challenges curriculum. According to this perspective, students should be challenged to think deeply and critically about complex ideas and concepts. This involves engaging with difficult tests, grappling with complex problems, and engaging in rigorous intellectual debate. In conclusion, idealism offers a compelling perspective on education theory and practice. By emphasizing the importance of the mind, moral education, and the teacher-student relationship, idealism provides a framework for cultivating the intellectual and moral virtues necessary for the fulfilling and meaningful life. Okay, next one is question 3. Students create some examples for the implementation of the idealist view in the school practice. Here are some examples of how the idealist view can be implemented in school practice based on the book. Okay, the first one is emphasizing the great books. Idealist educators can incorporate the classic of Western civilization into their curriculum. For example, they can teach works such as Plato's Republic, Shakespeare's plays, or Dante's Divine Comedy. Students can be encouraged to engage in discussions and debates about ideas presented in their works, and to think critically about their relevance to their own lives. The second one is encouraging critical thinking. Idealist educators can encourage their students to think critically about ideas presented in the great books and other sources. They can teach students how to analyze and evaluate arguments and how to develop their own ideas and concepts. This can be done through class discussion, debates, and writing assignments. The third example is fostering mentorship relationship. Educators can take on the role of mentor and guide to their students. They can provide individualized attention and support to help students develop their own ideas and concepts. This can be done through one-on-one meetings, office hours, and other forms of personalized attention. The fourth example is developing character and values. Idealist educators can focus on developing the whole person, including their character and values. They can incorporate lessons on ethics and morality into their curriculum and encourage students to engage in service projects and other forms of community involvement. This can help students develop a sense of purpose and meaning in their lives. The last example is creating a supportive learning environment. Educators can create a supportive and nurturing learning environment that fosters intellectual growth and personal development. This can be done by encouraging collaboration and teamwork, providing opportunities for creative expression, and creating a safe and respectful classroom culture. Overall, the idealist view can be implemented in school practice through a combination of curriculum design, teaching methods, mentorship relationships, character development, and supportive learning environments. By incorporating those elements into their practice, idealist educators can help their students become critical thinkers, engaged citizens, and lifelong learners. Okay, so that's all of my answer. Thank you, Professor.